Let's solve a few questions from the chapter Quadrilaterals. So, a quadrilateral have three acute angles, each measuring 75 degrees. The measure of the fourth angle is. So, we have discussed that sum of the interior angle of a quadrilateral is equal to 360 degrees. Now, how did we get that? We said that we are actually dividing the quadrilateral into two triangles and sum of each angles of the triangles is 180 degree and that is multiplied by 2 gives us 360 degrees. It's given that the quadrilateral has three acute angles, each measuring 75 degrees. So what are the sum of these three angles? It is 75 into 3, 5 3s are 15, 7 3s are 21 plus 1 is 225, right? So what should be the remaining angle? It should be 360 minus 225. So this would be 10 and this would be 5. So 3 minus 2 is 1, 5 minus 2 is 3 and 10 minus 5 is 5. So this is 135 degrees. Now, the measure of the fourth angle of a quadrilateral, four angles of a quadrilateral are in the ratio 1:2:3:4. What is the measure of the fourth angle? So, first of all, the measure of the four angles of a quadrilateral are in the ratio 1:2:3:4. What does this mean? The angles are 1x, 2x, 3x and 4x, right? Now, what is the sum of the angles? It would be 360 degrees, right? Now, we could say that 1x plus 2x plus 3x plus 4x is equal to 360, right? So, what is 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4? It's 7 plus 3 which is 10. So, 10x is equal to 360 degrees and x is equal to 360 by 10 which is equal to 36, right? Now, the measure of the fourth angle of the we have to find the measure of the fourth angle, right? So, fourth angle would be 4x, that is 4 into 36. 36 into 4, 6 4s are 24, 3 4s are 12 and 4. The angle we got here is 144 degrees. So, the answer to this question is 144 degrees. Let's move on to the next question. The diagonals of a rectangle ABCD cut at O. OAL is an equilateral triangle drawn so that B and L are on the same side of AC. If triangle ACD is equal to 30 degrees, then the angles of a triangle ALB are. So, what is given here? We have a rectangle, right? We have a rectangle here. Let's name it A, B, C and D. Now, O and their diagonals, right? Their diagonals meet at this point, say O, right? OAL is an equilateral triangle drawn so that B and L are on the same side of AC, right? Now, BAL, what is the triangle drawn? OAL, right? So, let's take a point L here. So, this is a triangle OAL, right? So, this is a triangle OAL. So that B and L are on the same side of AC. So, AC is here, BL is here, it's the same side of AC and angle ACD, this angle is equal to 30 degrees, right? The angles of the triangle ALB are. Now, we have to find the angles of a triangle this. So, let's mark the triangle differently. So, we have to find the angles of the triangle ALB, right? Now, what do we have here? It is said that this is 30 degrees. So, what would be this angle? It would be 60 degrees because every corner is what? It's 90 degrees, right? Now, this corner completely becomes 90 degree, right? So, this angle would be 30 degrees. How? I am considering the triangle ACB or ABC. So, angle ACB is equal to 60 degrees and angle CBA is equal to 30 degrees. So angle CAB should be equal to 30 degrees, right? Now, we have L drawn here. This is 30 degrees, right? And what is this? This would be also 30 degrees if that is 30 degrees. So this adds up to 60 degrees. This would be 60 degrees and this would be 60 degrees because it's an equilateral triangle drawn, right? Now, what else do we have to find? We have to find this side of the triangle, right? Now, we have 30 degrees here, 60 degrees here, right? This is 30, 30. So this would also be equal to 30 and 30, right? This is also 30 and 30. Now, what would be this angle? It would be 60 degrees because this is 90, 30 and 60. Here also it would be 60 degrees because it's 90 degrees here, right? Now, what do we have to find? The angles of the triangle ALB. So, angles would be 30, 30 at B, angle A is 30, angle B is 30, angle L is 60 plus 60, which is equal to 120, right? So, the answer is 30, 30 and 120. So, the answer is 30, 30 and 120. Now, the sum of two opposite angles of a parallelogram is 130 degrees. So, we have a parallelogram here, right? Now, we say that the sum of opposite angles is 130 degrees and the angles of the parallelogram are. So, we need to find the angles of the parallelogram. So, if one angle, what is the relationship between the angles of a parallelogram? Opposite angles. If one is x, the other one would be 180 minus x, right? No, now it is saying that the sum of the opposite angles of a parallelogram is 130 degree. By opposite angle means it is saying that these two angles, they are talking about these two angles, not opposite angles, these two angles, because opposite angles are always the same, right? Now, so what do we have here? We have here it's x, this would also be x, this is 180 minus x and this is also 180 minus x, right? Now, we have that opposite angles of a parallelogram, 2x is equal to 130. So, x is equal to 130 by 2. So, this gives us 6 2s are 12, right? Now, 1 0, 65. So, we get x is equal to 65 degrees. So, this angle would also be equal to 65. This would be equal to 65. And what about other two angles? It would be 180 minus 65. That would be 10. This would be 7. This is 115. So, both of the other angles would be 115. So, 65, 65 and 115, 115 is the answer. The length of the diagonal of a rectangle whose sides are 12 centimeter and 15 centimeter are. So, we have a rectangle here, right? Now, we have to find the length of the diagonal of the rectangle. So, let's say this is the diagonal and the sides are 12 centimeter and 5 centimeter. So, what is the shape we are getting here? Let's say the triangle is ABCD, right? BD is the diagonal, right? So, what is the length of BD? So, we could say BD square is equal to root of, this is Pythagoras theorem, right? So, according to Pythagoras theorem, the hypotenuse square, here hypotenuse is BD, hypotenuse square is equal to the base square, which is AB plus what is the height? AD, the opposite side or the adjacent side. So, BD square is equal to, what is AB square? It's 12 square plus AD square is 5 square. This gives us 12 square is 144, 5 square is 25, which gives us 169. So, what is root of 169? BD is equal to root of 169. We know that it's 13, but still we'll do the factorization method to just remind you. So, this would be divisible in, is it divisible in 3? 16 is there, 9 is there, 6 plus 1 is 7, 7 plus 9 is 16, 6 plus 1 is 7, it's not divisible by 3, right? So, it's not divisible by 2, it's not divisible by 3, it's not divisible by 5, It's not divisible by 7. Is it divisible by 7? No. 7, then 11, no. 13. So, how many times 13 is this? 13 times. So, BD is equal to 13. So, the answer is 13 centimeters. Now, in a quadrilateral ABCD, if AO and BO be the bisector of the angle A and B respectively, angle C is equal to 70 degrees and angle D is equal to 30 degrees, then angle AOB is equal to. So, we have a quadrilateral, let's say, let it be anything, don't mind the shapes, it's a quadrilateral, right? Let's say it's A, B, C and D. Now, angle C is equal to 70 degree, right? AO and BO, A and B have two diagonals, right? Which means it O, it's the angular bisector, right? Now, C is equal to 70 degrees, D is equal to 30 degrees, right? Let's say this total angle is X degrees and this is Y degrees, right? This is X degree, this would be X by 2, this would be X by 2, this would be Y by 2 and this would be Y by 2, right? So, this says that 30 plus 70 plus X plus Y is equal to 360 degrees, right? That is the sum of internal angles, right? Now, X plus Y would be equal to 360 degrees minus 30 plus 70 is 100. So, 100 degrees, which gives us 260 degrees, right? That would be the measure of the sum of these two angles. What is the angle we need to find? We need to find this angle, AOB, right? So, AOB is equal to 180 minus, let's consider the triangle AOB, right? We need to find this angle. This would be X by 2 and this would also be X by 2, right? Now, what would be this? 180 minus X by 2 plus Y by 2, right? Now, what would be X by 2 minus Y by 2? No, X by 2 plus Y by 2. 180 minus 2x X plus Y by 2, right? X plus Y by 2. Now, we found here that X plus Y is equal to 260 degrees. So, this would be 180 minus 260 by 2. This is 130, right? Now, what is 180 minus 130? 180 minus 130 is equal to 50. So, 50 degrees is the answer for this question. Now, let's move on to the next question. In a given figure, ABCD is a parallelogram in which DAB is equal to 75 degrees and angle DBC is equal to 60 degrees. Then the angle BDC is equal to, we have to find this angle, right? So, if this angle is 75 degree, this angle would also be equal to 75 degree. So, what should be this angle then? That angle should be 180 minus 75 degree, because angles on the same side should be actually linear pairs, right? Now, if this is 180 minus 75, this becomes 10. So, we have 5, 0 and 1. So, this angle should be 105 degrees, right? So, we have 75 here, we have 60 here and we see a triangle here. So, the angle BDC would be equal to 180 minus 75 plus 60, right? This would be equal to 180 minus 5 and 13, 135. So, what is 180 minus 135? We have 10 and 7. So, this is 4 and 5. So, the angle here would be 45 degrees, or here is the answer for this question. Now, let's move on to the next question. The values of x and y in the following parallelogram is. So, here we got 6y and 5x plus 10 on the same side and 120 here, right? So, what is the relation between these two angles? These two angles should be same. That is 6y should be equal to 120 degrees, right? So, y should be equal to 120 by 6. This is equal to 20, right? So, this is 120 degrees. Then what should be this? This angle should be equal to 180 minus 120, which is equal to 60 degrees, right? So this angle should be equal to 60 degrees, or this, if this is 120, this should be equal to 60 because it's a linear pair and the angle opposite to that should be same. So this is equal to 60 degrees. We got that 5x plus 10 should be equal to 60 degrees. So 5x should be 60 minus 10 is 50 and x should be equal to 50 by 5, which is equal to 10, right? So the answer for these questions are 10 and 20. Now, the sides BA and DC of a quadrilateral ABCD are produced as shown in the figure. Then which of the following statement is correct? So what do we have here? If this is B degree, this is 180 minus B degree, right? And if this is A degree, this is 180 minus A degree, right? So what do we have here? The sum of all internal angles of this is 360 degrees, right? So that means x plus y plus 180 minus A plus 180 minus B is equal to 360 degrees, right? So this means x plus y plus 180 minus A plus 180 minus B is equal to 360 degrees, right? So here we have a 360, which is x plus y minus A minus B plus 360 is equal to 360. Let's subtract 360 from both of the sides and we'll get x plus y minus A minus B is equal to 0. Now taking A and B to the next side, we'll get x plus y is equal to A plus B, right? So we got the answer x plus y is equal to A plus B. Now, in the given figure, ABCD is a square. A line segment DX cuts the sides BC at X. So it cuts BC at X, right? BC at X, okay. And the diagonal AC at O such that the angle COD is 15 degrees and angle OCX is 45 degrees, right? We have to find the angle X. So what do we have going on here, right? If this is 105 degree, this is a straight line, right? So let's use a different color to, just to recognize which all angles we are putting in. So this would be equal to 180 minus 105. So this would be 10, this would be 7. So this is 75 degrees. So this angle should be equal to 75 degrees. Now, sum of angles in a triangle is 180 degree, right? So this should be 180 minus 45 plus 75, right? So this is 180 minus 5 plus 5 is 10 and 5 plus 7 is 12, 120, that's equal to 60 degrees. So the answer for this question is x is equal to 60 degrees.